the last chapter of Homer Price. That is crazy insane. I'm happy, but I'm sad because now this is where we leave Homer to live on the rest of his life all by himself. Sadly. But it's okay, it's okay. The last chapter is called The Wheels of Mystery. I actually have no idea. I don't remember what it's called. What is it called? Oh, Wheels of Progress. I knew I had to do something with wheels. Okay, that's why I said Wheels of Mystery. Okay, so here's the last chapter. This is what it looks like. This is how we're starting off the chapter. I'm sad, but I'm happy. I'm excited, actually. I am excited. Okay, oh, don't forget that at the end I will be showing you the books that we can read once again. And, like, next. But I will be taking a break after this. Probably. Who knows? We'll have to see. But let's get started, okay? So, this chapter is called Wheels of Progress. I can't go fishing today, Freddy, said Homer, because I'm helping Uncle Ulysses down at the lunchroom. Seems as though the fish ought to be biting on a day like this. Do you think your Uncle Ulysses could use an extra helper today, Homer? Because it is an imperative that I have to go fishing. I just thought, if you weren't busy. Gosh, Freddy, Uncle Ulysses would like it. He always says the more help the merrier. But Aunt Aggie is a too many cooks spoil the soup sort of person, and she says she's sick and tired of seeing more people behind the counter than in front of it. Okay, Homer, said Freddy with a sigh. I'll see you tomorrow. Bring me a couple of donuts if you can. When Homer entered the lunchroom, there was Uncle Ulysses puttering with one of his labor-saving devices. Hello, Homer, he said. You're just in time to help me adjust the timing mechanism in this electric toaster. When you want the toast to come out light brown, it comes out nut brown, and vice versa. Homer and Uncle Uli tinkered with the toaster and then tried several pieces of toast. Then they tinkered with the mechanism some more. His name is Uli now because I just don't know how to say his name. How is the donut machine working these days, Uncle Uli? Asked Homer. Just fine, said Uncle Ulysses. We're selling more donuts than ever with that new recipe. We're selling more donuts than ever with that new recipe. I suppose you've heard about the lady who gave us the old family recipe. The lady who lost her bracelet in the batter. Ah, I remember that chapter. She lives in Centerburg now. She's Naomi Anders, a great-great-great-grandmother of Ezekiel Anders, the first settler of Centerburg. That's kind of cool. She inherited all of the Enders property when old Luke Enders died. She owns the mill and patent medicine company now, and is living in the big Enders homestead at the edge of town. She stops by for donuts almost every day. One of my best customers, she is. Yep, said Homer. The judge mentioned that she had come to live in Centerburg. He said that she was a public-spirited person and would be an addition to the town. She appreciates good food, said Uncle Ulysses, tasting a piece of nut brown toast. And what's more, she has a receptive mind, receptive to the new devices and up-and-coming ideas. A car stopped out front, and Uncle Ulysses appeared out and said, Here she comes now. Homer, better start packing 2 dozen donuts to take out. Good afternoon, said Miss Enders. Hello, Homer. I haven't seen you since the night my bracelet disappeared. Hello, Miss Enders, said Homer. How do you like living in Centerburg? I think it's a marvelous town. Simply marvelous. Am I? homestead, a sort of monument, and I could rent them reasonably to deserving families. Said Uncle Ulysses, stroking his chin. Good idea, Miss Enders. Good idea. Homer agreed, and while he counted out 24 donuts, he thought of the fun there could be walking rafters and joists in the new houses. Uncle Uli stopped stroking his chin and said, I'll tell you, Miss Enders, it wouldn't do any harm to have more modern houses than the homestead. Of course, said Enders. Modern plumbing. Uncle Ulysses went back to stroking his chin and saying, and modern kitchen equipment, said Miss Enders, as though she knew that would bring instant approval from Uncle Ulysses. Well, said Uncle Ulysses, and stroked his chin from left to right. Finally, he cleared his throat and said, These are changing times, Miss Enders, and we're living in an age of ideas and production genius. Now take the way they used to make donuts, for instance. Each one cooked by hand, and all that time and bother. Now we have this wonderful machine, makes donuts just like that, said Uncle Uli, snapping his fingers. It's marvelous, said Miss Enders, simply marvelous. Continued Uncle Uli. Now take the matter of houses. The way they used to build houses. Saw each board, hammer and nails one at a time, every little shingle, doorknob fastened on by hand. But now, said Uncle Ulysses, with up-and-coming ideas and modern production, genius houses can be built just like this, where a machine makes donuts. And he made a broad sweep with his right arm. That's the principle, pronounced Uncle Uli, while Miss Enders and Homer gazed in wide-eyed wonder. That's the principle that Henry Ford applied to making autos. Yep, autos are mass-produced like donuts, ships are built like donuts, airplanes and refrigerators, and now houses. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The modern house ought to be mass-produced, just like cars or ships or planes. Yes, sir. Mass-produced, just like that their machine makes donuts. And here Uncle Ulysses snapped his fingers and said, houses, just like that. And then stopped waving his arms and talking. Stopped waving his arms and talking, and appeared startled that he had talked so much and with such wisdom. He started stroking his chin again, while Miss Enders, quite visibly impressed, was murmuring, Marvelous! Simply marvelous! Homer counted the 24 donuts again. He got so distracted. That's funny. Of course, said Uncle Ulysses, it wouldn't be quite as fast or as easy as making donuts, but with assembly lines and sub-assembly lines, and power presses, and a touch of ingenuity. That's your recipe. You can bake a house in 24 hours flat. Build, corrected Homer. Simply marvelous, said the receptive Miss Enders. Simply marvelous. Homer had heard that Uncle Ulysses' pet theories before, and the sheriff and the boys over at the barber shop all had heard Uncle Ulysses carry on about the up-and-coming ideas. In fact, arguing about Uncle Ulysses' pet theories had broken up as many Pinocle, and checker games as arguing about the World Series and women's suffrage put together. That was all that ever happened, though arguing, but that afternoon in the lunchroom was different. Miss Enders was receptive to Uncle Ulysses' up-and-comingness, and what's more, she had the money to be receptive and up-and-coming with. Almost before the week was up, Miss Enders and the judge, who was her lawyer, and Uncle Ulysses were having conferences. They wrote letters to Detroit. Hold on. There's a picture. It's the first picture so far. see the picture. What is it? Oh, is it them speaking together? Ah, yes. Oh, that's how she looks. What a queen. Oh, yeah. Mama was definitely distracted. What was the last word I said? Where? Oh, yeah. Where they have assembly lines and sub-assembly lines and huge presses that can stamp out the whole side of a house just as easily as stamping out the body of a car or a section of a ship. They hired up incoming designers and landscape architects too. Almost before she knew it, Miss Enders had made arrangements for 100 houses, a whole suburb, to be built on the estate around the Enders homestead. As Uncle Ulysses so wisely put it, it don't pay to go to all the trouble of mixing batter and getting the machine on for 2 or 3 donuts. Might just as well make 100 while you're at it. That's The plans were finally finished and the arrangements all made. The workmen arrived at the Enders estate and then things really began to happen. The trees were chopped down and hauled away. I just realized, I hate that so much. Why do they have to chop down trees? Why? Just make tree houses. I would live in a tree house. Would I pay to live in a tree house? Yes. As long as there's no bugs. Okay, maybe I wouldn't pay for a tree house. I'd pay half of what's normal rent. I feel like I've seen some that are like $2,000. That's the dumbest thing ever. I'm just putting that out there. Let's go $2,000 for a 1-bedroom, which is dumb. I won't even pay $1,000 to live in the treehouse. Never mind, we're not having it. Okay. Guys, I would like to sincerely apologize. I forgot I muted that entire time. But guess what? That was my grandma. She was knocking on the door. She brought over some pizza. She said that she got a small for herself. I know it's cold, but I just want to see how much she ate because she doesn't eat that much. Actually, that makes sense. We get 2 slices each. I was like, oh, come on, bro. Eat some pizza. But then I realized a small only comes with like, is it 6 or 8 slices? I don't remember. I also don't remember how I was sitting. I was so comfortable. Now I'm confused and I don't remember what page I'm on. Okay, 100 while you're at it. The plans were finally finished and the arrangements all made. The workmen arrived at the Enders estate and then things really began to happen. The trees... Why did I have to read it again? It's so rude. The trees were chopped down and hauled away. The land was leveled by huge tractors and streets were laid out around the old homestead in a day or 2. Then power diggers arrived right on schedule and dug one foundation right after another. My voice is coming out because I was literally just talking to my grandma. How far can I go? That far? Okay. Look at that. Sheesh. I love how they're working together. When it was like just her idea, but now he's like, damn. He put himself in that position. He's like, let me help you. Look at all the trees they dropped. Oh my gosh, wait. Oh, this chapter is definitely short. There's another picture on this. This is so cool. Oh, that's what they meant. It kind of looks like... Hold on. Homer drove over to the suburb with Uncle Uli and Miss Enders to see how things were going. Uncle Uli watched the dirt fly and counted as the machine dug foundations. 72, 73, 74. I tell you, my boy, he said to Homer, you are witnessing the beginning of a new era in city planning and housing. 80, 81. Why, tomorrow they will start to build. By the end of the week, people will live here. Simply marvelous, exclaimed Miss Enders. Just think, last week there were only grass and trees and squirrels on this spot, as there should be. Everything happened right on schedule, just as Uncle Ulysses had predicted. Huge trucks and trailers drove along the streets, unloaded sub-assembled sides and floors and roofs of houses, all fasten the sides and floors together and put on the roof. As the Centerburg newspaper said in an editorial, "Truly, we are witnessing a modern miracle." Hold on. Little did Ezekiel Enders know when he founded this town and 150 years ago that such things as this would come to pass. Little did you know. Here is them assembling the houses. I was gonna say, it kind of looks like, like movies and stuff like that. I feel like it's gonna look like that, like so, like kind of fake, but not fake, not too fake, but like semi sort of fake. I don't know. That's what it kind of looks like. Hopefully it's not. Okay, for them at least. The Centerburg Bugle is sponsoring a 150 years of Centerburg Progress Week to be celebrated when this new part of town is finished. Judge Schenk and Miss Enders are heading the committee and handling the celebration. Anyone wishing to take part in the pageant, please get in touch with the committee or call at the Bugle office. Toward the end of the week, a truckload of mass-produced furniture was moved into every house. Each front yard had its own climbing rose bush, 2 dwarf cedars, and maple trees, all planted and sodded roundabout. Each backyard had its mass-produced ash can, birdhouse complete with weather vane and revolving clotheslines. I'm so sorry, my neighbors have decided to vacuum for no reason at all, so I'll be back. We are back. That took like 2 seconds, and I do not remember where I left off. Toward the end of birdhouse complete with weather vane and revolving clothesline. In fact, modern production genius had thought of everything: sheets, towels, pillowcases, and a print of Whistler's mother for over every fireplace. The houses were complete and ready to be moved into. They were moved into. But as you can see, moving in was little more than signing a paper and hanging your hat on the mass-produced hanger in the hall. Are they still going? Alright, I'm back. I think they're just gonna continue, so we're gonna have to like come and go. Which also means I'm gonna have to remember where I was. Oh, signing a paper and hanging your hat on the mass-produced hanger in the hall. Uncle Ulysses was very busy these days, attending to last-minute details. The judge and Miss Enders were working frantically on the pageant for 150 years of Centerburg Progress Week. Uncle Ulysses attended the streetlights and fire plugs, and one afternoon he met Homer on the street and asked, "Have you met Dulcie Dooner around? Have you seen Dulcie Dooner around lately? I have to make arrangements to have street signs put up in the new suburb. Have you heard, Homer?" He added proudly. "They're going to name one of the streets Ulysses Terrace in honor of me." Ah, let's go. Why, yes, Uncle Uli. I just saw Dulcie. Dulcie Donor. Dulcie coming out of the cigar store around the square. Uncle Uli and Homer hurried back to catch Dulcie Dooner. Dulcie Dooner, the town street sign putter-upper. "Hi there, D." I'm calling him D now, shouted Uncle Uli. "I'd like to discuss a matter of business with you. Street signs. Street signs for our new suburb." D turned around and said, "Hi, Uli. Hi, Homer. I've been hearing about this new part of town. It's a great timing for Centerburg," said Uncle Uli. "We'll need about 70 street signs, D. The signs are all made, and they can be fastened to the corner lampposts. We'll pay $1 a sign to have them put up." "Well," said D, "that's only $70, and I'm not sure that the street sign putter-uppers union would agree to that." "But Dulcie, there are almost 30 other signs to put up. That makes $100. The union surely wouldn't object to that." "Yes," said Dulcie. "I know, but I can't fasten the signs onto the corner street lamps because the street sign putter-uppers union rules say that any street sign put up by must be fastened to a post erected by a brother of this here union, set in a post hole dug by a brother of this here union. What did I just say? I'm so lost. The complete union rate is $10 a street sign for the whole post and sign. But we don't need another post on each corner. The lamp posts will do very well, said Uncle Ulysses, growing frantic. Couldn't you arbitrate or something? Suggested Homer. I don't know what these words are. I'm so confused. Yes, agreed Uncle Uli. I'll write to the president of your union and ask him. Well, Uli, said Dee proudly. I'm the president of the Street Sign Butter Uppers Union. I'm the secretary treasurer too. You see, Ulysses, I make all the union rules, pay all the dues, and collect them too. So what I say goes. But certainly you must have up and coming ideas like the rest of the citizens of Cinderberg. There must be some compromise. Say $5 a sign. Nope, said Dulcie firmly. It's $10 or nothing. Street sign upping is a seasonal occupation, and I can't run the union on $5 a sign. Well, sighed Uncle Ulysses, I guess we'll have to make other arrangements. If you make other arrangements, then the union will have to picket your new part of town, said Dulcie. Uncle Ulysses began to get mad. Homer hadn't seen him so upset since the night the donut machine wouldn't stop making donuts. Okay, this chapter is a throwback. He shouted something about Dulcie being a wrench in the wheels of progress, but Dulcie just repeated $10 apiece or strike. Homer had to rush off before the argument was finished, because tonight, Friday, was the dress rehearsal of the pageant. Homer and Freddie and a couple of their friends were taking the parts of Indians. They were going to be powdered all over with cocoa, stripped with mercurochrome, and draped with towels around their middles. Homer had to get to rehearsal right on the dot, because he started the pageant by rubbing 2 sticks together to make a fire. Most of the pageant was historical, all about Ezekiel Enders and the founding of Cinderberg. The organist of the African Baptist Church wrote the words and music for a long choral work, which the choir was going to sing all the while the pageant was being acted. The rehearsal went very well. The choir was in good voice, and the citizens taking the parts of Ezekiel Enders and the early settlers performed just right. So did Homer and Freddie, and the boys, except for their scalping scene, which had to be modified somewhat. The grand 150 years of Cinderberg Progress Week was drawing near. Meanwhile, every one of the 100 houses had been rented to a deserving family. Homer hadn't seen Uncle Ulysses in the past 2 days, but he knew he must be having his troubles. For one thing, the street signs still hadn't been put up. Oh no, this is no bueno. Come on, D. What about $7? As all of the streets looked alike, this caused some slight confusion to the deserving tenants. The fact that all of the 100 houses looked as alike as 100 donuts added to this slight confusion. However, the deserving tenants soon found that by counting houses from the Enders homestead, they could find their way home without much trouble. Freddie's aunt was one of the deserving tenants, and when Freddie and Homer called on her, they had to count 3 houses down from the Enders homestead, 6 houses to the left, and the next house to the right was Freddie's aunt's. It's sort of a game, Freddie said to Homer. Miss Enders was proud as punch of her suburb. She decided to call it Enders Heights, even though it was flat on a board. It's marvelous, she said. Simply marvelous. The only thing she wasn't happy about was that her house, the homestead, seemed out of place, sitting as it did in the middle of Enders Heights. Uncle Ulysses and the judge agreed that the homestead did stand out like a sore thumb. They decided that the best thing to do was move it away and build another house there. It would have to be done quickly so as to complete by the time the pageant started that night. Uncle Ulysses, late that day, ironed out his difficulty with Dulcie for $10 a sign and a slight increase for overtime and having to miss the pageant, agreed so sorry. There's a picture. There you go. They all do look exactly the same. I feel like they should have done colorful houses, but then again, back in this time, maybe not. Maybe not. But it would have been cool, to me at least. By 8 o'clock, the town square was crowded. Everyone was there to celebrate the 150 years of Cinderberg Progress Week. Promptly at 1850, Homer, as an Indian, started rubbing his sticks together to make a fire. After the fire was lighted, Homer, Freddy, and the other Indians left the stage. The judge was commentator, and while the pageant was being acted in pantomime, he read from the history of Ender's country. The African Baptist choir chanted in the background. Ezekiel Enders boomed the judge. Set foot on American soil, owning but 2 shillings, an extra share, and a formula for making a cough syrup and elixir of life compound that had been handed down in the Enders family for years. Soon after arriving, he took himself a wife and was soon the father of a child. The judge looked up from the text and said, "This child was destined to be the grandfather of our dear public spirited citizen, Miss Naomi Enders." Loud applause. The judge continued, "Hearing of the fertile lands to the west, Ezekiel Enders packed his beloved wife and son and his formula into a covered wagon, and with a few brave followers, started toward the west, the land of plenty. Trouble seemed to follow Ezekiel and his brave little band. Their food ran out, game was scarce, and one day they found themselves in the wilderness with no food to sustain life. It was on that day, 150 years ago, on this very spot, that Ezekiel found 42 pounds of edible fungus growing in the forest." Here the African Baptist choir sang out in full rich harmony. Oh my gosh. 42 pounds of edible fungus in the wilderness grown. Saved the settlers from starvation. Helped the founding of this nation. 42 pounds of edible fungus in the wilderness grown. I don't know how a choir sings. I'm so sorry. Especially an African Baptist choir. I don't know. Okay. Ezekiel took it to be a sign, so he and his followers founded a town of this spot. Ezekiel purchased 2,000 acres of land from the Indians with a jug of cough syrup. They named the town Edible Fungus, and they titled the land. And prospered. Peace and prosperity rested like a benediction on the brave company until the Indians, having become addicted to Ezekiel's cough syrup and elixir of life compound, rose in arms against them. Ezekiel buried a supply of the compound in his cabin floor and guarded his formula and his loved ones. In time, the Indian uprising was quelled, and once more peace and prosperity came to Edible Fungus. The choir sang, "Peace again in Edible Fungus. Prosperity now rests among us." This this is so funny. Wait, what is Okay, I love this. I wish. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at it. It is amazing. Just look. We have the choir. We have Homer and Freddy. We have the fungus on the ground. Just look at it. It's so cool. It's so nice. I kind of wish I was there just to see it all. It looks beautiful. Then we have the judge as the commentator. We now skip 75 years to the time Ezekiel's son founded the Enders Patent Medicine Company and the mill. The town had grown and prospered, Ulysses' wife, dressed as a spirit of progress and up-and-comingness, hovered on the platform. The celebration ended with a torchlight procession to Ender's Heights. But lo, once again the peace and comfort of edible fungus lies. Sunderberg, i.e. Ender's Heights, was threatened. The street signs were not up. The Ender's homestead had been moved out. Another house, like all the others, stood in its place. 101 houses, all alike, down to the last doorknob, each with its climbing rose bush, 2 dwarf cedars, and maple trees sodded round about, just as alike as 101 donuts, and nothing to count, from to find out which was which and whose was whose. There was a mad scramble, with much shouting, with the deserving tenants trying frantically to find out which house was which. The shouting broke into a chant of, "We want Dulcie. We want Dulcie. We want Dulcie Dora." Uncle Ulysses could do nothing. He had given his plans and diagrams to Dulcie so the signs could be put up correctly. Miss Enders had another set of plans and diagrams in one of her handbags or somewhere, but it couldn't be located at the moment. "We want Dulcie Dooner," the crowd roared. The judge began to worry about the reputation of the town. There has never been a lynching in Enders County. He said it was Homer and Freddie who finally found Dulcie, quietly sleeping on a street corner that was just like all the other street corners, except for the post hole Dulcie started to dig. The crowd gathered around. They shook and prodded Dulcie, shouting, "Where are the plans? Where are the diagrams? Where is Ulysses Terrace? Where is Ezekiel Road?" It was soon apparent that D was more than just asleep. He finally opened one eye and answered all questions the same. A shrug of the shoulders. "I don't know," and a hiccough. The plans and the diagrams couldn't be found. It was Homer and Freddie, still dressed as Indians, of course, who found the little wooden keg near the corner. They smiled. "Oh, someone's a bit too drunk." They smelt it. They tasted it. Freddie shouted, "I know, it's cough syrup, an elixir compound," added Homer. Dulcie dug it up. "This is where Ezekiel buried it, and this is where the homestead stood. That was it, and it didn't take the worthy tenants long to count their way home. Old Dr. Belly diagnosed Dulcie's trouble as an overdose of cough syrup and elixir of life compound, aged over 100 years in a wooden keg. Dulcie was up and about the business of installing street signs late the next day. 150 years of Cinderberg Progress Week came to a close with peace and prosperity. Time and progress move ahead. The Ezekiel Enders homestead moved back to take the place of the 101st house too. And you see, the worthy tenants, though up and coming, aren't taking any chances. Meanwhile, the whole nation is singing 42 pounds of edible fungus in the wilderness are grown. Save the settlers from starvation. Helped the founding of the nation. I don't know how to sing and rhyme, whatever. 42 pounds of edible fungus in the wilderness are grown. Oh, that's it. I ended up on a horrible note. I am so sorry. Here he is. Overdosed on cough syrup and something compound. I forgot already. I forgot what that thing is. There he is, just laying on the ground. And everyone's just shouting. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Well, everyone, I'm sad to say, but also happy, that was the last chapter of Homer Prize. It was a good one too. I don't know why. I like this one. Might be my favorite one. But that was good, especially since Uncle Ulysses got mad at the end. It's kind of funny. Well, thank you guys so much for coming along this beautiful journey of Homer Price. That is Homer Price. Thank you, truly, absolutely so much. have Noses Are Red, which I told you, so I'm gonna read the back so you know the gist of it. Or should I read? I'll read a page in the book. How about that? Not the whole page. Okay, let's try. This is Noses Are Red. We all try our hands with the new hook. First Cinta, then Victor, then me. We catch exactly 0 fish. I'm hungrier than ever. The rod in my hand is heavy. I cast towards the near shore. Cinta's line seems to float out forever before sinking gently to the surface of the water. My line dribbles out about the length of my arm. Sorry, I say. I reel in. I'm tired. While I'm yawning, I hear Norbert's voice. Try the other side, says Norbert. Huh? Cast over the other side of the boat. But the fish are hiding on this side, in the reeds. That's where fish go. Trust me, you'll do better. Victor frowns at me. Did you say something, Alan? Asks Zinta. I shake my head and cast on the other side of the boat. I do not do better. We're ending it off at that. This book is kind of funny. I like this one. So, this is Noses Are Red. That's what it was. Then we have Smile. No, not Smile. Sisters. Sorry. If I had Smile, I would have definitely read that first. But I do feel like this one kind of does go first. Kind of, not really, but I think it does. Okay, we're gonna read a little page here. But I don't want tacos. Too bad. I want McDonald's. You can't have McDonald's. I could go and get you some McDonald's. Dennis. She's never going to learn. She's never going to stop screaming. No, both of you. No, Amara, go to your room. That was this page. I think for this book, I will have probably my phone set up to record the visuals, maybe, because I feel like it's nice seeing the visuals with the audio instead of me reading and then showing you the picture. The fact that Amara didn't want tacos is hurting my soul. How dare she? And McDonald's. Sorry, I don't like McDonald's. That's kind of why I'm like, oh, Amara. Okay, now we have my vote is for Sisters, obviously, but I think I'm just gonna have one camera on the book. That's it. Probably. Then we have Ramona the Brave. Oh, is she scared? Hold on, let me see. Okay, let's see. Ramona knew she could get away with going to the bathroom at least once. She stood up on her bed, and even though she knew it was not a safe thing to do, she leaped into the center of her room and ran into the hall before something hiding under the bed could reach out and grab her ankles. On her way back, she reversed her flying leap and landed on her bed, where she quickly pulled her covers up to her chin. The moment Ramona dreaded had come. There was no one awake to protect her. Ramona tried to lie as flat and as still as a paper doll, so that something slithering under the curtains and slinking around the walls would not know she was there. She kept her eyes wide open. She longed for her father to come home. She was determined to stay awake until morning. That's so cute, and there's a picture that I landed on. It's her in the dark. She's scared. That's so cute. Okay, all of these books are really cute, and I actually don't know which one I want to read. Because now I kind of want to read Ramona the Brave because it just sounds adorable. But Noses Are Red sounds funny. And Sisters, it's Reina, so I mean, I love her so much. I love the series, so I don't know what to choose, so I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. I think I might do a poll in like 2 weeks probably, when it's time for me to start reading the books. That's when I'll do it, and I'll let you guys choose which book you want me to read next. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode of What Are We Reading Wednesday. I hope to see you in the next What Are We Reading Wednesday, which who knows when that is. We're gonna have to figure that out. But for now, I guess you're gonna have to watch my Thursday videos, just regular ASMR. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.